Hi Year 9. So today you are going to be doing about flavours of the world. So you're going to be talking about what food you've tried from different Spanish speaking countries. So you're going to be talking about trying new food, describing different food and meals, and saying what food that you have tried using the past tense. So what you need to do, as you've been doing over the past couple of weeks, you're going to do the activities where you're told to. You can do that either in your school book, on a piece of paper, or you can do it on a Word document. And then any new vocabulary that you are learning, make a note of that, write down the English and Spanish, because when you have your catch-up week next week, it'll be good to have a look back through and just recap on some of that key vocab. So the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to match up the photos with the shopping list. So you've got shopping list A, B and C, and you've got Guatemala and you've got Cuba. So you need to have a think about how you're going to do this. You've only got 2 places, but you've got 3 shopping lists. There's a lot of words on there that you won't know, but there will be words on there that you do know from previous weeks and that are cognates. So cognates are words that look like the English. So the first thing that you're going to do is look for the cognates, and we'll go through this activity together. So words that look like the English, we have got on the second one, paquetes looks like packets. We should know that patatas fritas are chips, fries, crisps. Cereales, cereal. We've got mermelada, which looks a bit like marmalade maybe. You've got kilos, that looks the same. Agua, we should know is water. We've also got litros. Botella, bottle. We've got verdes, which is a colour green. Then we've got coliflores, which looks like cauliflower. We should know that queso is cheese, pan is bread, huevos, eggs, piña, if you can work that out, piña, change the A to an E, pineapple. So using them words, I'm just going to give you a minute or so to have a look at the pictures and see whether you can already work out which ones these might match up to. Okay, so the pictures are a bit hard to see. It might be a bit better on a big screen. So obviously, if we're looking at A, we're looking for cheese, bread, eggs, and pineapple. And if you can see here, you have got pineapple, you've got your bread, got some eggs behind. Cerveza means beer, so that's there, and refrescos is like fizzy drinks. You've got cheese somewhere in there. You have your eggs, your pineapple, and your bread. So A is going to match up to Cuba. Then the next one, you're looking for cereal, you're looking for crisps and marmalade or jam. Can you see that in the Guatemala one? Well, we can't, but if we have a look at the Guatemala one, we can see green beans, loads of green stuff. You can see cauliflower there just in the middle. You can see your 2 litres of water, your 23 litres of water, the big jug of water. So yeah, C is going to match up to Guatemala. And the relevance is that these 2 countries, Guatemala and Cuba, are both in Latin America, so they're both underneath America in Southern America. So on this page, what you're going to do is you're going to have a look again. We've already been through some of the vocabulary, but I want you to work out what these are at the bottom in these 3 shopping lists. This should probably take you about 2 or 3 minutes. Once you're done, you can move on to the answers on the next slide. So here are your answers. What I would do is make sure you can green pen these like we would do in school. Make sure you've made a note of the different foods, the new foods that we've looked at. And if you just have a look at the top, it says words for quantity. So when you're saying how much of something that you have or that you're going to get, you use day afterwards. So the first one, cans of beer, latas de cerveza. 2 sticks of bread, 12 packets of crisps, 100 grams of sugar. So you've got to use the word day. On this slide, you're going to look at Latin American dishes, so traditional foods from Spanish-speaking countries. On the left-hand side, you've got guacamole, el chairo, el bori bori, la tortilla, el gazpacho, and la paella. What you are going to do, some of these you might already know, but you can use word reference or Google to Google these different foods or the vocabulary and match them up, and then your answers will be on the next slide. So here you have some answers, and you also have a vocabulary list of them new words that we saw. So una sopa, soup, típico, typical, and so on. Make a note of them because they're going to come up throughout the rest of the lesson and when talking about these Spanish dishes and Latin American dishes. So here's a couple of pictures. See if you can work out where they are from. Some of them you might already know if you've been on holiday there. Others you might need to have a Google just to see. And here are your answers. So bori bori is from Paraguay, tortillas from Mexico. So you'll know tortillas are used with fajitas, enchiladas. Them in England, they're quite common. So they come from Mexico. Gazpacho is from Spain, which is a cold vegetable soup. Chairo from Bolivia. Paella, which is Spanish. You might have tried that if you've been on holiday there. Guacamole is the avocado dip from Mexico as well. So on this slide, you're going to have some time to use the words at the bottom to fill in the gaps. Now, take your time with it. It'll probably take between 5 to 10 minutes. See which of these you can work out. It might be worth first working out what the words at the bottom mean. So if we go through them together and then you give them a go. So sana, we've seen it over the past couple of weeks, means healthy. Importancia, we can work out, means something like important or importance. Fresca looks a bit like fresh, and we have seen that over the last few lessons. Lacteos is a cognate, so it's like the word lactose. Lactose intolerance is when you can't have milk, so it refers to dairy. Then perdido, and perdido you won't know, but means like lost. And then comer is to eat. It's got an en on the end, so we're talking about they. They eat. So see if you can work out what the answers are for them. So the main thing that we'd like you to use this lesson is the perfect tense. Now we've seen a couple of past tense already. The perfect tense is talking about something that has happened in the past. So, as you may already know, may have already come across, the perfect tense is, I'll highlight it here for you. So the perfect tense is he probado. So we know that our question for our title is has probado, which means have you tried? So he probado means I have tried. So make a note of that. I have tried. So they've said, yeah, I have tried paella. Consiste, we can obviously work out, it means it consists of. Arroz, we should know, is rice. Ajo is garlic. Pimientos, peppers. Marisco is shellfish. And pollo, chicken. And azafran, which is saffron, which is like a herb. So looking again at the next one about guacamole, we're using again that perfect tense. No he probado. So if he probado is I have tried, no he probado, I haven't tried. So I haven't tried guacamole, but creo que, I believe that it is un tipo, so a type of salsa, a type of sauce with aguacate, which is avocado, y tomate, and tomato. So here at the bottom you've got a little sentence builder. So you could write, ask a question saying, have you tried? Or you could say, I have tried gazpacho, la fabada, la ensaladilla rusa, la paella. It can be anything. Obviously, if you've been on holiday to Mexico, you might want to say, I've tried fajitas or tacos or guacamole, or you don't have even had to have gone to one of these countries. You might have been to a restaurant, you might have been to Chiquitos where they sell fajitas or enchiladas, or you might have tried one of them different foods at a Mexican restaurant. So say what you've tried, then say what type of dish it is. So it's, you might say it's a type of drink, it's a type of like soup or stew or dessert or fish. It's a hot dish, a cold dish. It consists of, so it consists of meat, fish, seafood, eggs. And then if you want, you can give a bit more information saying where it was introduced or invented. So if I was talking about guacamole, I would say fue inventado, so it was invented en, and then Mexico. So just see if you can use that sentence builder to come up with your own to talk about a different dish that you have tried from another country, preferably a Spanish-speaking country. So just to give a bit of practice for the present perfect and future tense, we did some of the present and the future last lesson. The perfect tense is something new today, but what I would like you to do is to fill in the gaps here. So I eat, I drink, I like, and I visit. For these, they're going to end in O. So let's see if you can remember from the past couple of weeks how to form them to end in O. Obviously, I like is a bit different. You know the word for I like. You don't need to fill in this box over here, but you need to do I am going to visit, I'm going to drink, and I'm going to try. And you're going to follow the pattern here that you've got boy, and then the infinitive. Boy, infinitive. So we'll do the first one together. We know that to try is probar, so it's going to be boy, probar. And then this one, the new one that we've learned, the perfect tense. So mentions that you have done the perfect tense earlier in the year. You'll have done it at the start when we were learning about different Spanish-speaking countries in September. So if we go through the first one together, comer is to eat. And the first thing that you do is you start with this A. So I have eaten. A is that I have. Comer, you take off the ER and you can either add ado or ido. Because comer is an ER verb, you're going to add ido. So try the next ones and then check your answers on the next page. Remember, look for patterns in each of the columns. So your present tense is going to end in an O. Your perfect tense is going to have A and then ido or ado. And then your future is going to be voy, a, and then the infinitive. So here are your answers. So green pen them, see if you can do some work on them. And if you didn't know what they meant, write them down and maybe try and use the vocabulary in a sentence. So your final task for this week is you're going to write a short article about food. Now, the things that you need to include are over here. So what people eat in your own country. So maybe describe a dish. That might be a roast dinner, it might be fish and chips, anything, it's your choice. It might be your favourite dish. Say about the types of food that you've tried in the past or you've eaten in the past, and then give an opinion about it. What type of food that you would like to try. So we're going to use me gustaría probar to say I would like to try. And then make sure you're trying and using some of the past, present and future verbs that you saw in the blue table on the last slide. Because remember, you can only access a grade 4 if you are using past, present and future. And especially as we're going to be getting closer to returning to school and starting our GCSE course in year 10, whether you're doing the GCSE course or not, it's going to be great practice for you to keep going and making sure you are using the range of vocabulary and tenses here, which is what will be expected of you in September when we start again in our GCSE course. I would say that this writing task, and it should take maybe half an hour max, maybe 20 minutes to be honest. And then once you've done that, you're going to take a picture of your work and you're going to upload it to show my homework, and there'll also be a little quiz for you to complete, just testing what you've done over this fortnight.